My Heart Will Not Sit Down by Mara Rockcliffe and illustrated by Anne Tanksley. School day, children, come, come, come. Katy hurried down the dusty path, her bare feet moving to the call drum's quick, sharp beat. She did not want to be late to school. She wanted to get a good seat close to the teacher. All the children liked to sit near teacher so they could look at his strange black shoes and watch the way his yellow mustache turned up when he smiled. But teacher was not smiling today. He sat on a log, holding a paper, looking sad. Bad news from America, he said. The depression is getting worse. America was his home, far away across the Great Salt River. Teacher told the children the depression was a time of trouble for America. Like the sun scorching the earth in the season of burning feet, the depression made everything good dry up and disappear. Men and women had no work to do. Children went hungry. In New York, he said, people were starving because they did not have money to buy food. Is that your village? Katy asked. New York? Teacher smiled. I suppose you could call it a village. A very, very big village with people from around the world. All day Katy thought about hungry children in New York, America, and her heart stood up for them in sympathy. Katy knew how it felt to be hungry. Many days she had wished for a bit of meat when there was none. Many nights she had emptied her bowl without filling her belly. Imagine how it would be to have no food at all. Why the face, little one? Said Mama as they worked together in the garden, harvesting peanuts and yams. Teacher said, the people in his village have nothing to eat. Let them come to us, said Mama. We will share. But they live very far away across the Great Salt River. They cannot all come. Then Katy had a new thought. Teacher said they needed money to buy food. Could we give him money to send home? Money? Said Mama. We do not have enough coins to pay the head tax even. How can we send money to people whose faces we have never seen? Katy knew Mama was right. Still, her heart would not sit down. Someone in the village must have money, she thought. I will go and ask. Katy asked the uncle squatting on the ground, weaving a basket out of bush rope vine. She asked the sweeping mother with the baby on her back and the grandmother with strong arms pounding cassava. She asked the laughing girls who carried pots of river water balanced on their heads. Asked the old men gathered under the thatched roof of the palaver house, playing their games of stones. Finally, bowing her head and speaking softly into her cubed hands, she even asked the headman of the village. Everywhere the answer was the same. Nobody had money to send far across the Great Salt River to America. At home, Katy helped stir the soup for supper. She breathed in the spicy smell and sighed, thinking of the children who could not look forward to a bowl of soup with fufu and a bit of meat and greens. Night came, she lay on the bamboo bed between her brothers and sisters, but she could not find sleep. Sitting in the doorway, Katy gazed into the sky. Did the same bright stars, like twinkling eyes, look down on hungry children in New York, America? In the morning, Katy heard the distant beat of the drum, calling, Come, come, come. She started to run down the path to school. Mama called her back. Little one, she said, give this to teacher for the people in his village. Tax time is not here yet. We will find a way. Katie stared down at the single small coin in her palm. She knew Mama had no more to give, but would it be enough? Thank you, she whispered and turned away. On the way to school, Katie could not stop peeking in her fist. Each time the money looked smaller and her steps grew slower. Lessons had already begun. Katie sat down in the back far away from teacher. She knew she should give him Mama's money right away so it did not get lost, but she could not make herself speak. Finally, she raised her hand. Teacher, are there many children in New York? Why, yes, he said, looking surprised. As many children as we have in our village? Teacher laughed. Oh, many more, he said. In New York, the people crowd each other like the tall grass in the field. So many? Katie felt her eyes fill up with tears. How could she offer him her small, small money? She heard the noise, thump, 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 like the beat of a drum, the sound of many footsteps. First, the headman came. Next came the men from the Palaver house, and after them, the uncle with his basket and the other men and boys. Then came all the women, grandmothers, young mothers with their babies, laughing girls. Last of all came Mama. We have heard about the hunger in our teacher's village, said the headman. Our hearts would not sit down until we helped. One by one, the people went up with their money, till it poured from teacher's open hands. Katie's small, bright coin glittered among the rest. Little one, Mama said, now will your heart sit down in peace? Katie thought about the children far across the great Salt River in New York, America. Yes, Mama, she said, yes.